Hello, in this video I'm going to explain why you can't beat driving anxiety. Now don't worry, you can overcome it and you can live without the problem. But the thing is, many people have this false idea that you need to fight it or beat it or destroy a part of your mind or erase some kind of memory that's given you the problem. And all of those things are incorrect. My name's Paul and I work online with people all over the world to help them overcome their fear of driving. And this is something some people have even argued with me about, and they say, I just want to destroy the problem. I want you to put me into hypnosis and just erase my mind, just destroy this part of me that's given me the problem. You can't do that. But let me explain why. The reason you have driving anxiety is that your unconscious mind is giving you the problem because it's benefiting from it in some way. Your unconscious mind only ever wants what's best for you, so it's never going to do something that will hurt you or make your life worse. But the thing is, this is where it gets a bit confusing, because people say, well, that makes no sense. How can me having a fear of driving and being terrified every time I'm behind the wheel possibly be helping me? Well, because you see, your unconscious mind doesn't want you driving. He thinks that driving is bad and dangerous, so he gives you those feelings to stop you from driving. And this is why beating driving anxiety doesn't work. You see, what you're doing is you're trying to destroy a part of your mind that's actually doing a good job. It's doing what it thinks is helping you, and yes, it's got it wrong, yes, it's causing more trouble in your life, but you see, your unconscious mind does not think in a logical way like that. All it thinks is, driving is bad, stop them from driving. And you can say all you want about, it's good, I'm going to gain loads of good things from driving. Your mind won't listen because it doesn't listen to logic like that. This is why so many people get it wrong when they think that hypnosis is about suggestions. It's not about going to sleep and somebody whispering in your ear, you can drive, you're a safe driver. I've had people email me and say, I want you to knock me out cold with hypnosis and fill my head with suggestions. That stuff is nonsense. That's not how hypnosis works. I'm not going to tell you to do anything. And this is for another video, but if ever a therapist tells you to do something, it's not going to work. And this is why so many therapists fail to help you overcome your fear of driving. Yes, they might be certified and have all these awards and qualifications, which just means they don't know what they're doing, because you get taught a load of rubbish when you train to be a hypnotherapist. But you see, they're doing the wrong thing. They're going along with your idea that you can just put people into some trance, talk to them, give them suggestions, and erase the memory or beat the problem. This is all nonsense. You don't erase people's memories, that's impossible. You don't tell people what to do, and they do it. Yes, that can work in stage shows and funny hypnosis tricks. That is not going to last long term. It's just a temporary override of your mind for entertainment purposes. That's not what therapy is. Therapy is a long-term change that can help you throughout your whole life. So you see, if you're trying to beat anxiety, what you're effectively doing is trying to destroy a helpful part of your mind that's just got something wrong. So how do you fix it then? Well, this is a massive thing I'm going to tell you now, and this is where 99% of therapists go wrong, because they just don't understand this, even though they might say they do, and they might talk about this in their advertising, but then they go and break their own rules. You see, what people do wrong is they try and beat the problem, and what you've got to actually do is embrace it. Now, this can sound a bit strange, because you might think, I don't want to embrace it, I don't want to make it worse, I don't want to have the anxiety. No, that's not what we're saying. Let's think of it in a more real world example. Let's imagine you've got a neighbour who is playing the music too loudly. If you want, you could go marching around, storming round to the front door, banging on the door, and when they open, you shout a load of abuse at them, telling them they're an idiot and you're going to report them to the police and you're sick of the music, turn it down, I'm going to smash your windows if you don't turn the music down. That is unlikely to get you anywhere because people don't like being told what to do, and all it's going to do is get their back up, and they'll often just go and turn the music up to annoy you even more. That's fighting fire with fire. That's going head on, beating a problem head on. It rarely ever works. And I was actually in this situation a few years ago, and what I did is my neighbour was playing his TV really loud at 2 o'clock in the morning. So I simply went round the next morning, knocked on the door, and I just said to him, I live next door, but I'm having trouble sleeping because your TV's so loud I can't get to sleep. And he said, oh, sorry, I didn't even realise. And he turned it down. Because you see, what I did is not to go storming in, fighting the problem head on, but to understand why he was doing it. I wanted to know, why is your TV so loud? And he didn't even know. He honestly was a really nice guy. He had no idea. He said, I didn't even realise anyone could hear it. He turned it down. Never had a problem with him again. Now you see, this is a bit like beating driving anxiety. There's no point in you going storming into your mind, beating it and trying to force it out and using aggression. It will not work. A much better approach is to simply go into your mind, find out why it's doing this. Why is it giving you the problem? What are the reasons behind it making you feel scared when you drive? And when you find out what those reasons are, you can then make it realise that those reasons are incorrect. Because yes, although your unconscious mind is illogical, it will listen. It's just that you have to put the right information to it for it to make sense to it. So if you say, okay, you're giving me driving anxiety, why? And we can unravel the reasons why, and actually it will think, well, hold on a minute, that doesn't make any sense because I'm actually making their life worse, not better. And by talking to the problem and embracing it and working with it, that is how you beat the problem. You haven't beaten it, you've actually worked with it, and you've helped to understand why it's doing what it's doing, and then it will change its behaviour. And I've done several of the videos talking about why exposure therapy doesn't work. This is why, because you're fighting the problem head on. You're trying to force it out, like the way you're telling your neighbour to turn the noisy music down. It's very unlikely to ever work for anyone, because it just makes the problem worse. So you see, the point of this video is, you don't beat anxiety, you don't destroy the problem, you don't erase the problem. What you actually do is discover why you've got it and work with that, and it will then change the way you experience that issue. So you're not beating anything, you're not destroying it, you work with it. And that does not mean you have to learn to live with it. It does not mean you're going to feel the anxiety. It just means that you will beat it by not beating it. Check out these other videos on the screen now for more help with your fear of driving. And if you want to work with me one-to-one online, contact me through my website, firstdrive.com. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you again soon for more videos.